you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict on a fine, luxurious evening. And it's a crazy year we're living in. You know, we start out with crazy stuff in Miami. Then what was next? I can't remember. There was another one, wasn't there? There's been loads of them, but this whole Super Bowl. I'm not even into the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm British. I'm not even into our football. Never mind your football. But it's just crazy. I mean, what is it with the subliminal advertising? It's insane. And if you do, speaking of advertising, if you want to get yourself one of these t-shirts, they are in the description below. And also, guys, you may be watching this on X. You may be watching this on the Rumble. You may be even watching this on listening, should I say, on iTunes or Spotify. But we are live on also YouTube, so don't forget about the tube. Also, make sure you like, share, and subscribe and all that jazz. And if you want to support us, you can check us out in the description, and you can also support my guests by going over. Not even guests, they're my bros. My bros, guests. Who am I calling these guys guests? How you doing, boys?
What's going on? What's going on?
Guests.
Now that we're guests, do we get paid now?
Do guests get paid?
Absolutely not. I can't even pay me and Lee, never mind you.
Right.
Not yet. He's tuned out.
No, glad to be here, mate. It's always always glad to be here, mate. Always glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on that note, people, these two boys, they come on pretty much every Friday and they support the channel. So make sure you go and support their channel. Nazi Nick down there.
It's catching on. It's catching on. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it at some point.
You're gonna be doing a 12-hour marathon. Is it next weekend?
Next Sunday, yeah. We'll discuss that later on when we finish the episode. So yes, stay tuned for other stuff as well.
But there is a lot of like real good stuff that you're doing with history, which is why I like you so much, because I'm just not knowledgeable, Nick. So it's hey, knowledgeable Nick. That's what you should have been called.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to go further than the other one,
yeah, definitely. I don't think the other one's going to catch that well, but
yeah, the algorithm's not going to like the other one, Nick.
no, strike my channel most probably. Yeah.
And my boy Terrestrial, you're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff coming up very soon with a certain person who's releasing a book.
Yeah, I mean, well, not like in tandem with him, but whenever Lou Elizondo
does, just kept that going.
I guess I could have. Look, it's my honest heart. What can I tell you? No, I mean, whenever Elizondo drops the book, definitely the plan for our channel is to release a podcast on every single chapter of the book. So whether that's the prologue all the way through, we'll break it all the way down and see what you guys think. Should be interesting.
He's also copyrighted that idea, so
yeah. If you do it now, then you got to give me a little cred.
Yeah. It's a real odd time that we are living in right now. And I know I say that a hell of a lot, but I've deleted the old thumbnail. So I had Corbell basically in the thumbnail that you saw that I sent you, just because I couldn't think of anything to do. And then other than put Corbell in a thumbnail,
right?
Then lo and behold, like Lee's like, "What are you doing? How come you've not got the Super Bowl in the thumbnail?" I said, "Why?" He's like, "Have you not seen the adverts for the Super Bowl?" And at first I'm looking through some of these outlets and I'm thinking, so what? But then I saw the Scorsese one and I'm like, shit the bed.
Yeah, he's the man, isn't he?
That's like the stuff that some of the stuff that we've been touching on. Is he just in is he in on this stuff? Like, does he really like it? Or is he kind of like, is somebody narrating that behind the scenes, not just him?
Could be. What do you think, Nick?
I think it's going along the trend. It's the trendy thing now, isn't it? Talking about UFOs. It seems.
Oh, by the way, can I just sorry to interrupt there, boys, but
that's right.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, that is not in the US, the Super Bowl had a lot of UFO related adverts. That little edit you saw at the beginning, obviously I had to take out the sound just because I got a bit worried, and I also did some effects. That was one of the adverts. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just sorry, Ollie, no worries. I was going to say, I think it's going along the trend that's at the moment. I mean, UFOs and aliens, is big in the mainstream media at the moment. So it's a bit like is it Moon Pies?
Yeah, the Moon Pies.
A few months ago,
Sean Cahill, yeah.
That's it, yeah. So they sort of jumped on that bandwagon because it was trending at the time. And the Super Bowl, I just believe, just trying to get some traction on it. Oh, aliens, this is something new, But yeah, I think some people think, oh, this is going to be Project Bluebeam. Just like, this rings a bell, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But that's my theory on that one.
Well, yeah. So you think it's a Bluebeam thing?
No, not at all. It's just a trend. It's just a trendy thing. That's it. It's whatever gets traction and likes. I think this is the reason why they put this thing out there. A bit like the moon pie thing, same sort of thing.
Yeah, I seen John Greenwald tweet during the Super Bowl. He said, there's a lot of ads for aliens out there. And I thought to myself, it's because look at the topic. I agree with you, Nick. It's been trendy. And so I messaged back at him. Unfortunately, he ignores me again. But I said, look, I mean, 8 months ago, guys, when pre-production started on all these commercials, what was big in the news? David Grush. David Grush was huge. UFOs were the biggest thing at the time. They were all over Joe Rogan, all over, social media. It was everywhere. And a guy had mentioned to me, well, the mainstream media didn't cover it too much, but it's like the only people that watch mainstream media are people stuck in airports, old people on their way out. This is not where we're going to really get the temperature for the topic. But I agree. I think it was very trendy, and the timing makes sense that it would come out during the Super Bowl right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What percentage of Americans would you say gave any sort of attention to the David Grush?
God, it's hard to even say that, Ollie. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm so involved in the topic that I can't even like really get that 100,000 feet view to tell how many. I mean, I asked.
Okay, if you went into a supermarket, a
I did.
shopping mall, okay,
Yeah.
and you just shouted out at the top of your voice, David Grush, how many heads do you think would turn to go? Well, a lot of heads would turn. Think,
Yeah.
who's this crazy guy shouting for? But you know, if somebody say David Grush, do you say David Grush, and actually know that name?
It's a really good way to ask the question. I would probably say no, it is. Like, it made me actually come to a number. It was pretty good. Probably 15%, maybe. Maybe that's optimistic.
15% that shopping mall would know
15%.
who.
Yeah.
That's quite high, actually.
It might be, but yeah.
If it's in a shopping mall, it is.
True. I mean, I literally did ask the butcher at my local store when they did the first congressional hearings with Grush. He said, well, what are you doing when you go home? I said, I'm going to go watch the hearings with Grush. And he goes, hearings with Grush? There's UFO hearings? So he didn't even know what was going on. So I don't know. It just depends. 15% sounds like it's probably not too bad of an idea.
Because I tell you, if I walked into a shopping center over here and shouted David Grush, people would probably just like ignore me and think I'd lost my kid.
Yeah, but it's America, though. I mean, we're known for the UFOs, so we're the biggest. We're the capital of the UFO. You know,
changing the subject a little bit. Stephen, Stephen Bassett said there's a lot of UFO talk in the British newspaper. I haven't really seen anything, and honestly, a lot of British people don't know about UFOs. I was speaking to my boot camp people about UFOs because they call me UFO Nick and all that. Not Nazi Nick, but UFO Nick. They call me the sci-fi kid. Always the sci-fi kid. He's a conspiracy theorist. And I asked them about Grosh and to do about the UFOs, and they had no idea. Bear in mind, okay, there's only like 20 of us in there, so you're not really getting the full span of the public. But right. I don't think the British are really into UFOs. I mean, what do you think, Ollie, on that subject? I mean, if I went to my nearest house there and shouted David Grosh, security guard would just take me out, be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, you lost your kid, son, you know? So it's a tricky one.
Man. I mean, I've said this like forever on this channel that in the UK it's not a thing. It's just not. It's weird that some of my friends, some of my work colleagues have spoke about it recently, but not to the degree that I would say that they are being. I would say that they're in the know. Like, I think the general population, the population of the UK, should I say, are starting to see snippets of this.
Yeah.
Which I find that really fascinating because when I started this channel, if I'd have said the word UFO to not one of my really good friends, because my really good friends know, like Phil in the chat, know that I've always been into UFOs. But if I'd said it to one of my work colleagues, which actually happened in my old job, they thought, who's this nutter? You know? But I think it's the fact that it's starting to become a topic that is trending, that like we're going back to the Super Bowl, it's just a trending thing. Is it just a trend though? Because just a trend, showing things like the gimbal footage in that clip to me is
that's a part of the law now.
It seems there's a reason for it. Maybe that's just my conspiratorial side.
I was going to say that.
No, I agree. I think that there is. And I think that there might not be much of a coincidence that all these commercials come out around the same time Kirkpatrick puts his op-ed out. And Arrow is kind of dunking on all of this. I probably have a different take than you guys on these commercials. I think that they're fun. Sure, there's entertainment. I think they're really bad for the topic. I think it's stigma all over the place. I think the problem is that when you talk about UFOs with some person who doesn't really look into the topic, who watches the Super Bowl, Nick, If you said, hey, UFOs, and their guy's going to say, well, you mean that thing that's in the commercial for Mountain Dew? Huh? This idiot thinks that plane in the Mountain Dew thing is real. I think it's bad. Really, really not helpful. And it piles on, it dog piles on with Arrow and all the kind of hurt that they've put on the topic lately.
Yeah, it's a bit like the moon pie thing. It's almost like, it's a sort of a mockery, really. It says, oh, aliens and UFOs, or is that something to do with moon pies or something like that, because people's just watching TV and commercials and stuff like that. So yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I understand what you're saying.
Skinny Bob, just because he's gassed.
Well, I think like a good example is when you look at the movie Arrival, right? Which the one ad is very similar for apartments.com. They walk up, they're talking to these two aliens. They actually look sort of kind of like, there he is, Greer. He's always getting in my way, Greer.
Grateful. That's Grateful Greer. Grateful Greer. There you go.
What was Dave saying? Greer Pride or the other night? Man, he's funny, man.
Queer for Greer, isn't it?
Queer for Greer. But when you look at,
let's just let Lee and Dave get sued. I'm nothing to do with this.
Oh, you're gonna go down with them, Ollie. You're the king of the ship here. You're going right down. But
Thank you, Bob.
In all seriousness, when you look at like the way the apartment ad dealt with it, they're making jokes of it, they're making fun of it, where Arrival took it more serious. They were trying to figure out the language and how they could interact with them. And you could take that if you wanted to say there was a drip process that's coming through Hollywood. Arrival is a good example of that for getting, interesting information out there to get people interested. The apartments.com ad is going to make people laugh at you for liking UFOs. That's the difference, I think.
It's showing aliens. It's showing like aliens like a comedy sort of side, isn't it? I think the aliens will have a completely different approach than sending, an image of themselves smiling, like, look up, like thumbs up. It's like, no, they're going to probably destroy your ass. It's just hypothesizing here, but it's not going to be probably friendly. Who knows? But definitely not like that, sending memes of themselves.
Yeah, I think the gimbal video being in Scorsese's ad is just a really good example of they're looking for like some of the best footage possible that everyone has seen, and they're trying to instantly dunk that footage. They're trying to burn it. I mean, it's whether Scorsese's involved or not. I don't know if that's the case, but there could be people up higher up that are dealing with it. It's possible for sure.
I'll be interested to see who's been.
I think Phil's got the point there. I mean, I think the UFO adverts were just coincidence. I can't imagine the government has gone to the advertising agency and told them to include UFOs in the advert. I see what you're saying there, Phil.
Yeah,
but did the government agency need to go to the advertisement agencies, or like you boys said? Was it you said that about it trending, Nick?
Yeah.
So. Who makes it trend? Is it us? Is it just the grifters that make it trend, or is there
it's us, isn't it? But put it this way: they must have a board meeting to actually discuss what they're going to be advertising, because you need to discuss what marketing purposes first, see what's trending, see what people are talking about, and he just picked UFOs seems to be trending a lot at the moment. And I think they just jumped on the bandwagon. So they had a meeting definitely to discuss what they're going to be doing, what footage, I'd be interested to see who's been editing these videos, to see if they were like big UFO people, if they were like big in the community or got an interest in UFOs.
Yeah, I mean, if it came off that way, I didn't want it to. I don't think that's 100% what's going on. Like the government got involved with it. I'm just simply saying that the commercials create terrible stigma. Like they're not good. I mean, even if they weren't dealing with it, I'm sure that those commercials are going to give it the stigma that they want. I think it's kind of just idle hands created it for them. That's kind of what I was going with that. I agree with Phil. I think that it definitely was a hot topic 8 months ago. And you got to think it takes almost a year for some of these commercials to come together. I mean, you got to make all the deals. You got to go scout all the locations. You got to put together the money. It takes a long time, let alone shoot it, edit all of it. It's months and months. And so 8 or 9 months ago, what was popping? It was Grush.
Let's look at the flip side of that question for a minute, though. Like, what if they do infiltrate? Because, let's go to film. So Martin Scorsese, he makes films, okay? and you've got I nearly said Stephen Hawkins then. Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg, yep.
Everybody says Steven Spielberg knows something because of the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
And E.T. as well.
And E.T. I really don't think if aliens have a big, long, glowing finger, and well, I mean, if Jaime's aliens do look a bit like E.T., so I mean, they've got skinnier legs. E.T.'s just got little dumpy legs, hasn't he?
True.
He's into his mushrooms though, and mushrooms are in. Yeah, mushrooms are. People speak about mushrooms when it comes to this subject quite often. Have you seen E.T.'s mushrooms?
E.T.'s mushrooms.
E.T.'s mushrooms. There's a clip when he goes onto the ship.
Yeah.
And he's growing loads of magic mushrooms.
I don't remember that.
What was that?
It's Mandela effect. I don't know, man. I don't remember that.
Later on in the show, I'm going to find that clip. So we'll stay on track for once.
Yeah.
To remind me near the end of the show, we'll find E.T.'s mushroom.
Right.
But yeah, you've knocked me off track with E.T. Yeah, Spielberg. Yeah, he's done. People say he's in the know. So mate, is he in the know, or does somebody that is in the know tells a few stories, gives some of these talented people ideas? Maybe Martin Scorsese's like he's somebody that's on his team said, "Oh, why did we go?" You know, I studied graphic advertisement. I nearly got into advertisement, and when you do that, you've got loads of advertisement. You've got a big advertisement team working, and they all come with a. They all get the notepads out and they're sketching these really shit drawings, and they look really shit because you're doing them fast and you're doing like all these. You're pinning them all up on the wall and these different scenarios and thinking what will work. Somebody in that team had that pitch, and then that pitch got. Now, was that just the UFO pitch? And they thought, okay, let's look at UFOs. And then it's like they knew nothing about UFOs, and then they went, okay, well, let's actually look into the UFO thing and make it a bit more, because that last one was quite serious. In some respects, like when she's looking at her phone, she's seeing the go fast, and then all of a sudden she's flipping on it off it, and there's a cat video, and she's like more interested in the cat video. That's how I see people, that they just don't give a shit. You know, they maybe some of the stuff is right in front of their face, but yet they're gonna flip off and watch somebody's kid get a piece of cheese chucked to the face. You know. Because it's more it's more entertaining for them.
I mean, is it though, Ali? Is it more entertaining for them, or is there just so much stigma? And there's just not. I think it's a stigma issue, dude. I mean, if you had a clear video of that gimbal, she wouldn't flip to the cat video. We don't have really great hard evidence on top of having tremendous stigma. It's both of those issues kind of tied into one, and it's never went away. It doesn't matter what Elizondo's done or not done, or Grosh or Osap, Petitio. None of that really matters. The football's not really moved down the field enough for the mainstream public to believe it. You said believe all over your intro. They still don't really believe it. I know people say, well, half the people or 60%, or it's a crazy number, a large number, believe that something's been going on. There's life out there, come around. That's probably true, but do they really think that's what's happened? Or is it just fun to say that you believe that? I don't know. I wonder.
Ollie, if you bring up Moody Mongrel's last comment, talking about Steven Spielberg's having a private viewing of Close Encounters with Reagan, that's what I was about to bring up. Yeah, that's it. So there was rumors that Steven Spielberg was given a private viewing of Close Encounters to Reagan. At the end, Reagan apparently turned to Steven Spielberg and said, "You know, that close was actually." I fucked it up. Sorry.
You know, that's close to what actually happened. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
it. So that's apparently.
Yeah, I've heard this.
I have too.
Yeah.
So
because it's. Sorry, carry on.
Reagan saying that to Spielberg. Who told Spielberg? Or did Spielberg just guess it? Did he just pull it out of his ass?
Yeah, it's strange he's made E.T. and Close Encounters at such a short period of time, all about aliens and UFOs. It's
Was that a trend then? Back in the 80s?
not really. I mean, flying saucers.
No, Lazar didn't come out until late 80s. So
And then we got
Yeah.
Flight of the Navigator, which was about kids being taken, essentially.
Well, you think of the 90s, you got
brought 'em
X-Files. You think about the 90s, you got X-Files, Independence Day, all this sort of sci-fi sort of stuff going on. So I think 90s were really like a good hype time for aliens and extraterrestrials.
You know, Nick, I can't remember when did Project Serpo? When was that talked about for the first time? Because I think that's what was supposedly like shown at the end of Close Encounters. Isn't it Serpo where we traded off people?
Lie to me.
I think it was. I'm assuming that was later on than that time, but I think it was Serpo where we exchanged people, right?
Project Serpo, was it?
Serpo, yeah. If I'm correct, that's what he's supposedly referencing.
Remind me what this is, because that's ringing a bell.
Yeah, I can't remember it word for word, but there was I believe Project Serpo was about us.
Is this where we essentially made an agreement that we would give a certain
amount of humans to them to go back to their planets? Yeah.
Is it Zeta Reticuli, isn't it? I think I remember the planet Zeta Reticuli.
Could have been. It could have been Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah, Zeta Reticuli. Zeta Reticuli. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think the rumor of that was later. I don't think it was back then. But I think that's what kind of people link to what Reagan's talking about there. Well, what he supposedly said.
Yeah, November 1977, that time period. Yeah. I got it here. So got an article here saying Project Serpo and the Zeta Reticuli exchange program, which was in mid-70s.
I'm good for something sometimes, Ollie, right?
I mean, that's interesting in itself because you look at, forget E.T. because we abducted him and turned him into a salami. But
a weird finger, yeah. That finger must do wonders, mate. Honestly, I don't.
True.
There's a blue movie in there somewhere. E.T.'s finger.
There's a movie for sure. Trust me.
There's going to be one, yeah, definitely. It's where somebody's insides are glowing. It's not E.T.'s. But Close Encounters and Flight of the Navigator is really sticking out there with what did you say it's called? Serpo?
Yeah, Project Serpo. Yep.
Yeah, because that is people being taken. However, they are given back at some point, which, as far as I know, Project Serpo, they don't give them back.
Yeah, I don't know about the giving it back part. I definitely didn't hear about that part, but it could be there. It could be a colony somewhere else.
Apparently, Zeta Reticuli's got a load of like gorgeous people, men and women, but like really hot and gorgeous. So, would you want to leave? I wouldn't. If they got good food and good men and women, that's fine. I'm happy with that. That's all good, you know. So,
yeah. Have you seen Alien Greys?
Yeah, dude, some people like them. Some people like the reptilians. They're big into that.
Hang on, wait. Zeta Reticuli, is that the grey aliens, or that's not human aliens?
It's the greys, yeah.
Yeah, it's the greys.
It's the greys. Yeah. Forget what I said then. I'm not interested because they got no reproductive organs. Have you seen those alien mummies?
That you know of.
Yeah, I know of. Yeah, but it's smooth down there, guys. There's nothing, you know.
It's Barbie and Ken.
It is definitely, yeah.
I mean, a grey would look ridiculous. Let's be honest, with a big penis or like a hairy vagina. You know, if somebody wants to, then obviously you can tweet me. That's my Twitter. Tweet me an egg picture of as many as you like.
Dude, stay out of your Twitter DMs now. Oh my god, you don't even know what you just created right there. The storm that's coming your way.
Have you heard about Rule 34?
Greys with massive junks.
Rule 34. Have you heard that?
Oh
Like
yeah,
a-
I've heard of all that stuff.
yeah, I guarantee you're gonna find some alien dick on there, definitely. So
Do they make sex toys that are like that? Do they do all sorts of stuff with that stuff?
but
Yeah.
how do they know what an alien dick looks like?
I'm sure, they get creative. People are creative. Look, Scorsese's
Okay.
making, pretty good ads for UFO stuff. They get
The
creative.
closest thing would be E.T.'s finger. That's it. That's like a
Well,
jumbo size E.T. finger.
I don't know if they've taken advantage of that yet. There's probably some, ladies out there that might, and probably some guys maybe too.
Well, since the views have gone up a little bit, let's stay on the dicks for a bit. Let's stay, you know,
Oh wait, so sex sells? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind.
I mean, you say, how do you know it will look like? But if you look at an alien grey, it's got 2 eyes, it's got a mouth, it's got nostrils. It might as well have a penis and balls, maybe
Maybe.
3 balls.
Honestly, that is one thing the UFO community don't talk about is the reproductive organs of extraterrestrials.
I think
You know what I
people
mean?
have. There's been some real out there guys that have talked about it. Doesn't Corey Good talk about that stuff, or am I crazy about that? I never really watched him, but like he comes off as someone that would talk about that.
Skinny, I've got a question for you. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask that question. I don't know. I don't know. I imagine there's something down there, unless it's true what they say, and it literally are. If they're anything like what we will end up being, if AI does manage to rule the roost, we'll have no need for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
just-
I'm googling ET sex toys, and no, I go down a deep rabbit hole there. Some terrible stuff that's popping up on my screen right now. Hope the missus isn't walking.
I think later, like earlier on, Ali, Close Encounters, movies like that, Flight of the Navigator, good examples. I think that there's potential that there could have been drips, in the past. It's just, don't you feel that there's such a difference with like these Super Bowl ads? Kind of like what I talked about with Arrival. Don't you feel the change there in seriousness?
Mm.
What do you think?
I mean, well, I'll tell you what. Let's bring them up, because we got the we've got them all here.
If we had a really good mass sighting too, Ali, that would change people. I mean, people wouldn't flick to the cat video as much too. I think when you have a sighting, it definitely changes things for yourself.
Could you
Makes it
remember
more real.
Could you remember the mass sighting in New York in 2009 that was actually predicted by someone that worked in the Pentagon?
Not off the top of my head, no.
If you go on YouTube and type in UFO sighting New York, there was a mass sighting of like these silver balls. And if I remember rightly, a Pentagon official, I can't remember what the name of the guy was, but he announced a couple of days before that there were going to be a mass sighting over New York.
You're talking about the Hudson Valley sightings.
Oh no, it's right over New York, mate. 2009.
Those are old though.
That's
not 2009.
right. I will play a video for you after this.
Hudson Valley UFO is different, yeah.
Yeah, but I think
That's
there
different.
was
Yeah.
that was the Hudson Valley was the biggest one over New York. As far
Yeah, it
as
was
I know.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I will play this, and I'll play a video of Osvaldo's take on that, because he sent me a video of exactly what he saw.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Let's play this.
It's me, America's sweetheart, and I just love having a blast. The Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Having a probe me already blast.
He's hot.
Yeah, she's easy on the eyes, yeah.
Definitely.
Why are you here? State your purpose.
To find a place to rent. I know renters when I see them.
So if anybody watching these are the adverts that will play at the Super Bowl.
Apartments.com. We can help you get into a lovely 1-bedroom, 2
They love using him for alien stuff, huh?
I love Jeff Goldblum.
Bit of a creeper.
I like these guys. Apartments.com.
He's perfect
Place to
for it,
find a
though.
place.
He'd make a good Vulcan. What's with the eye thing? Those eye creatures.
I don't know. I thought about the same thing.
They're very Illuminati.
I love how well they up-res that gimbal footage. It looks so good.
Yeah, it does look great.
Those guys are geniuses, man.
There was an historic hearing today on Capitol Hill and an unprecedented bipartisan push for UFO transparency.
It's a good advert.
Yeah, oh, of course. Yeah. It looks great. I love that shot right there. It's really good. Is that from a movie, Ali? Those stars?
I don't know. I find those extremely odd.
It's gotta be. That's why he's watching that old movie. It's gotta be.
No, I don't think those stars are from an old movie.
You don't think so?
No. But before we go any further, we need to talk about our sponsors, Squarespace.
If you listen, you need to get a website, guys. If you don't have a website, you're a loser. No one's ever gonna see your stuff.
There you go, Squarespace. We'll give you that one for free. I actually did consider. I've seen some of the adverts, and we've been looking at a website, and it does look pretty cool. Like you just like slot it all into place like Lego. I like the idea of that. Yeah.
Can I just say something about that footage you showed, Ollie? Everyone in the public was looking at their phones. No one was looking up in the sky.
That's what I was saying.
And I've actually just done a video the other day talking about we should stop looking at our phones for the best UFO footage, and you yourself should start looking up in the sky yourself if you want to put the time. If you want to put the time and effort into it. Secondly, they showed the bloody Mexican alien puppet, the paper mache puppet. So that's immediately I just go, okay, I'm just discrediting. Again, it's just the trend. It's just the trend. You know what I mean?
It's impressive though, because they picked up how many really big pieces of news in the UFO community. So whoever's designing those is a UFO guy, no doubt about it. Whoever is working with Scorsese and they're putting that together, for sure. I don't know, Scorsese might be a UFO guy, but I don't know. I haven't heard him talk about it. He hasn't made a movie, so he makes the same movie mostly. just gangs and the mob over and over and over again. But somebody was in his ear, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, because now we're talking about trending, and it's America. It's America. Maybe that's just what they wanted the theme to be, like an aliens and UFOs. So they're like, yeah, these are the adverts we want, but we want them to be. We'll pick a handful that we want. Would they pick the adverts, or would the adverts pick the Super? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Super Bowl would pick the adverts, wouldn't they? The Super Bowl. The Super Bowl.
No, you pay for space. No, you pay for space, Ollie.
Would the Super Bowl say, okay, you can pay the space, but we want it this theme?
No, because Kanye spent $7 million on his to buy the space, and he just shot it out of a phone, a car, and it was horrible looking video, and they didn't care. So I don't think it's that. I think it's whoever comes in, or whoever the highest bidders are, they get the spots, and they put it in. I mean, they might have some kind of.
Well, then it's even more crazy that it's all UFOs and aliens.
Well, it's not all though, right? I mean, you got 4 or 5 ads. I mean, that's over across the whole Super Bowl. It's hours long, and there's tons and tons of ads. I mean, it's not really the majority at all, though. It's a few, but it's not the whole thing.
Yeah, it's 4. It's 4 UFO adverts.
Yeah,
I wonder how many there was. Is there like 104?
I mean, they're playing ads probably every 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that, probably in those games. It's not very long that they go. and they get ads in. And that's not counting all the ads that are coming on screen. You know, you have your lower third advertisements, stuff like that too. So
It's funny. I mean, so Lee was on his PC Allied gaming thingamajig.
cool. Yeah.
And he was on Steam. And he sent me a screenshot of the Steam page at the minute because it's got an advert for this discount thing, and it's got a guy sat in his armchair playing a game, and it's got next to him there's an alien grey playing games with a control pad, and that's another advert with aliens in. It's like is it, maybe it is just trending, you know, maybe it is just a trending thing, and it's good for advertisement. If it's good for advertisement, though, people, you know, give us a little bit of attention, you know, get the views of YouTube.
But you need to understand, you know, it's getting people into the subject of UFOs and aliens, which is a good thing. But is it really going in that direction of mocking the thing? It's actually, instead of taking it seriously by, you know, going into like what we've been talking about for the past, you know, 5 months. So is it doing the public a favor? Who knows? It depends on what they're looking at. You know, I just find this like a mockery, really. When you said it to me, Ollie, I was laughing. I was like, this looks familiar, and I'll tell you why. So next week I'm going to be talking about Ian R. Crane on my live streams, and back in 2007 he said this live. I was there live. He says he played the Independence Day trailer.
This is the
guy I'm going to be talking about. Yeah, the lecturer. He played the Independence Day trailer, and then afterwards, in fact, I've got the clip here. Do you want to play
Absolutely,
it?
Let's bang it up. Let's get away from the Super Bowl. It's boring.
So he was talking about a false flag alien invasion back in 2007.
Oh yeah, now that's interesting. Let's talk about that.
This is let's change this shit up.
Players in the New World Order.
Just turn the volume up a little bit.
So the trailer's just finished.
Right.
Up anymore, mate. I think that's it.
Okay.
I contend to you that the New World Order, or players within the New World Order, are about to initialize a catastrophic and catalyzing event like a false flag alien invasion. They need something mega to get back on track for their agenda. They failed in Iraq. They're not going to be able to go into Iran, so they need to get control. How are they going to pull a stunt like this? They've got bases in 130 countries, military bases in 130 countries. They've got the black technology to be able to pull a stunt like this. It is audacious to the extreme. And of course, it's absurd. It's completely absurd. But so would it be for anybody standing up on a platform a few days, weeks, months, or years before the events of 9/11, claiming that the American government would launch an event where they flew their own planes into the World Trade Center.
Someone did that.
Now, there are other players who also want to get in on this act. And this is where I bring in something we talked about earlier. You remember this? 400,000.
So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'll be playing the full lecture of this. I've saw Ian a couple of times, but I was there live when he said there will be a fake alien invasion at the London Olympics. Of course, nothing happened. Of course not. But this is what was interesting, guys. There was a promotional footage that I can't play because there's a copyright thing on there. And it was before the London Olympics in 2012. A couple of years beforehand, there was a promotional video, and it shows all these flying saucers and all these sort of alien robots walking through London and creating the actual, like literally like UFOs flying around and creating the London Olympic Stadium. And you have all the triangle pyramids going around the stadium. So when you sent me that, Ollie, I was like, that looks familiar to me. I'm trying to find the video. It's difficult to find, but if you type in London Olympics 2012 promotional video, they released it a couple of years before the Olympics, but it shows UFOs flying around, robotic streetwalkers like aliens. Is very uncanny. And even Ian, the guy there, said there will be a fake alien invasion because, well, he's passed on now, but he alluded.
That's because he told people there's going to be a false
exactly invasion. Yeah. So, but because he saw that footage, you saw that alien footage. So now you're going to get people going to go, oh, because we've got the Super Bowl footage, there's going to be a Project Bluebeam thing now. That no, just prepare yourself because something big's going to happen, and then the cycle continues. It's just ramping people up, and unfortunately, the conspiracy people like me go, something's not right here. Something's big going to happen, guys. You know, we have to put a building around it. It's so big, you know. So the cycle continues. You know what I mean? So this is it. It's part of the trend, and the conspiracy people like myself. It's good to speculate, you know, to say like something's big's going to happen. This is a sign to say that the government knows they're going to push this sort of false flag event, this false flag alien invasion. So there you go.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to seeing this. This is. I'll be honest with you. I'll be tuning in. Maybe not for 12 hours, because I think my wife will go, "What are you watching for 12 hours?" But you're gonna do 12 hours, and then you're gonna break them up in. You're gonna do 2-hour segments.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll play one lecture. They're probably about an hour at a time, if I remember, and then I'll do a bit of talking, and then I'll do them separate. So I'll talk about, because he talks about so much different stuff.
That's going to be over on Nick's channel that is in the description, people. So
Ian R. Crane, I miss him so much. He had so much content to work with today. Unfortunately, he's passed on. But yeah, he's got incredible lectures. But that one always stood out because I was there in the audience when I saw him.
That's cool, though.
That. Yeah. So I was even hyped up. 2012, I literally thought a fucking like an alien invasion was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I've been duped before, guys. You know, this is so when I keep on hearing about Project Bluebeam and Miami aliens being something to be linked with that, I just go, oh yeah, I've heard it all before. So that's just my take on that. Yeah.
I mean, who didn't in 2012? Kind of like when the ball was dropping and coming down, kind of turned away and covered your balls. I mean, I didn't really believe anything would really happen, but hey, better safe than sorry. You know, you're always like, I don't know. They might have got something right with all this, man. These people looked at the sky a whole lot more than we do now, and I don't know what's going on.
Definitely,
you know.
So you mentioned the New York sighting, the Hudson Valley sightings. So Osvaldo Franco, one of the reasons why he's into this, he sent me this video on Alien. Now this is his story. The UFO that you will see, just for to be transparent, I have done is some shitty CGI to kind of like think about what he was seeing. He's just telling you what he sees. So don't anybody think, oh, that's fake. Yes, it is fake. It's me that made it, but it's him telling a story. And
you grifting again, Ali? Are you?
Grifting again, yeah. But I'll show you. It's interesting. I miss Osvaldo. Oz, if you're watching this, come back on. You know, I'm sorry for speaking bad about TTSA. I just think your money's better well spent somewhere else.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks. What you're about to watch now is Osvaldo Franco, a ufologist from New York. Now, as a boy, he witnessed the Hudson Valley sightings firsthand. This is his experience. I interviewed him 2 months ago about To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, and he briefly went through this experience. I said to Osvaldo, after the show, I said, can you send me your experience? I've always loved Stephen. Out to my subscribers for them to enjoy. What I'll do for you guys, I'll put some visuals in this. If you can't use your own imagination, it kind of helps. I know you can use your own imagination though. However, make sure you put some comments below. Maybe if you want to ask extra questions to Osvaldo Franco, I'm sure he will be in the comments section. And get this video shared out. Those props cost me a fortune, by the way. I want to know what you think of Osvaldo's experience from the Hudson Valley sightings.
I like how you moved the guy from the front to the back.
New York City. This is where I was born and raised, on the Upper West Side. And this is where my story begins, and the subject. My mother was born with wickets, so getting around was always an issue. And we live on the Upper West Side. We lived on the Upper West Side. Mom still does. And we have these two buildings that are together. as one building. And my mom was born with rickets, which is a bone disability. And getting around was always an issue. So we live in this building and it has a lot of steps. So instead of going down 4 flights of steps and walking up into the 4 flights of steps in the building next door, we would always cross over with the roof with a neighbor of ours upstairs, walk up 1 flight from over there, walk across, and then enter into the other building through there. We would do this about once a month, and it was very, very normal for us to do this until one day something happened. So after the tenants meeting, my mother and I and our neighbor came out from here. And we, just like we did once a month, every month. And we started walking, and my mother and her friend were speaking in Spanish. And I'm not fluent in Spanish, though I'm Latino and black. And we were walking, and you see there's a wall right here. Now, this isn't that big of a deal right now, but when you're 7 years old, like, this was an obstacle for me. And it was always like a thing where I have to hoist myself over the wall. I remember, because this was really, particularly because as I was walking across the wall, right about here, started hearing this really intense pulsing sound. This whoom, 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 whoom sound. And it got deeper and louder. And I remember walking with my mom and her friend. I'm holding my mom's hand. And I remember right about here, I'm thinking to myself, what is that noise? And then, just as I'm thinking that, my mom's friend says in English, "What's that noise?" And my mother says, "I don't know." And they start looking right and they start looking left. And I'm a little boy, so I don't know any better. I just followed the sound and I looked up. And right above us was this giant circle of lights, like basically 8 to 10 half domes. This unusual light, this really odd light. And the lights would get bright and they were in a circle and they were embedded on this big something. I don't know what. And basically these things were pulsing away. And every time they would emit the sound, that's whoom sound, this weird sound, the lights would get brighter and dimmer and brighter and dimmer and brighter and dimmer. And we were there for maybe 5 minutes or so and just looking at this thing just pulse away. And then, just as easily as it just showed up out of nowhere, it just was like whoom, 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 and then whoom, and then the lights went out. And it's a bit cloudy, so you can't see. But we usually have pretty good viewing over here for like living in the city. And well, basically then the thing was just gone. And basically all we saw was empty sky and some stars. Now, I remember going downstairs and my father had just gotten home. This is just before he ran off. And I was very excited. I was extremely excited. And I remember running down to him and telling him, "Oh my God, we saw this thing." We were talking to him and he was like, "Oh, well, you just saw a satellite," which makes no sense because, as you know, you can't hear sound from space, and satellites just aren't that big. So that's not the situation. That wasn't what it was at all. And basically, what happened is I just became that later that evening. Like I said, when we had gone downstairs, around 10 o'clock, around the 11 o'clock news, it started showing up that people were talking about all these massive UFO sightings that were happening in and around the Hudson Valley area. Now, people think that the Hudson Valley sightings only happened in the suburbs. They didn't. In fact, in the distance is the Hudson Valley. In fact, those lights beyond those trees, that's New Jersey. And that river is the Hudson River. Now, as I said before, I was astonished and I saw these things. And I had never heard of what a UFO was before. And the thing is, I was space mad. I was always into space. I was always into science and related things in regards to that. But I had never heard of UFOs. And then I remembered, like, two things happened. One, about 2 days later, the local Fox affiliate, before it was a Fox affiliate, before Fox existed, or eventually it would be the Fox affiliate, broadcast a documentary called UFOs Are Real. It's an old Rod Serling UFO documentary, which is fantastic. You can probably find it on YouTube if you look up the name. I remember it was the first time I'd ever seen Stanton Friedman, who I would eventually come to meet many times in the course of my life.
I'm jealous of that.
And I also remembered seeing a follow-up news report later that day about how these UFO sightings were just super light airplanes. And I remember being a little boy and I was so angry. I was so mad because I had seen this documentary where they said they were lying about the existence of aliens. And I was amazed. But then literally within days I had seen and I'd caught them in this lie. And I remember being very, very upset. And, you know, children don't like being called liars, especially when they're telling the truth. And I was very upset. And, well, there was a bit of a surprise. It turns out my mom was into UFOs. My mother had never said anything. She didn't want me involved in those things. She thought when I was older, I would, you know, perhaps ask some questions if I was into it. But fate had other plans installed, and you know, for us. And my mother went, and she took me to the closet in her room, and there were several stacks of UFO books. And I started reading those books. I started devouring those books. And it turns out my mother would go to conventions, like the Whole Life Expo and things that we'd have on the Upper West Side. And I started going to those. And basically that was the very, very beginning of my entry into ufology. I've been doing this my whole life without exception or exaggeration or hyperbole of any sort. And right now I'm here telling you the story all these years and years later today. Well, and quite honestly, to tell you the truth, it wasn't the last time this would happen. And honestly, it's something that's never really stopped.
So yeah, that's Osvaldo's story into getting into the subject, and I genuinely feel honored that he sent me that story, that video.
It's a great story, dude.
Also, if you're watching this, I would love to get you back on, maybe make amends. But yeah, and he's told me, his mum's, I know his mum's not been very well. Well, the last time we spoke, she wasn't, so I hope she's still with us. But his mum's always been fascinated in it, always. Before that, and you can just tell if you look back at some of the old the old Alien Addict shows. When Oz is on, his enthusiasm for the subject it speaks volumes. Even if I don't agree with how much he got into TTSA, and I'll say that to his face. I just don't. You know, I got worried at one point with everybody was investing in that company, because I'm like, and this is I fucking love Tom DeLonge. I was well into Tom DeLonge back in the day, and then when I heard that he was doing this company, I got excited, just like Oz. I never invested, but then when I was thinking, well, if I'm going to invest in something, and my mum invests in stuff, I want a return, and I didn't see where the return was going to be. So but I think for us, looking back at that, the return for him that he was hoping is essentially disclosure, knowing what the subject is. I don't think he cared about the money. I really don't.
The alien spacecraft.
I just think he's a guy that's absolutely fascinated by the subject, and you meet. I think you meet very few people in this field that don't want anything when it comes to this giving you a story, but they're not after that. Oz never felt like he was after that story getting traction for profit, if that makes sense. He'd never seemed like that to me. I don't know if you recognize that guy. He's the guy who spoke to Senator Gillibrand, and it went viral on Twitter.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
When he asked Senator Gillibrand about the UFOs.
Yeah.
And she bends down to him and she speaks to him and says, "Yeah, we are looking into this." That was the first video I saw of Senator Gillibrand with the UFOs, and I think, Jesus Christ, I know that voice. It's Osvaldo.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why I wanted to show that, one, you brought the Hudson Valley sightings up, Nick, is there's people out there who've had like crazy experiences with this, and I think we forget about that. The reason why we keep doing these videos, because we do believe there's something out there, and whether it's alien or not, people are seeing things, people are hearing things. There's some craziness going on that we just don't know about.
I'm going to bring up some footage from New York back in 2009. Do you want to see this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah,
bring it up. I don't know if you guys can remember this. It was all over the news as well. Hang on.
Oh, I think I remember this now. Yeah. They're going to move around together, right?
That's it. This was 13 years. I was just trying to get the date here. Hold on.
CBS News.
The 15th of October 2010.
So this would have been after the Hudson Valley sightings, because Hudson Valley sightings in the 80s?
82, I believe. 82.
Yeah.
There were V-shaped crafts in the Hudson Valley as well.
Oh, it's balloons, Nick. It's balloons morphing, and
have we got Mick West on the show?
it's dancing balloons.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, it's just something different. Hold on. Most played.
No. Wind it back. I'm joking. I'm fucking about with you.
It's 8 minutes long, mate. They do stuff. But it's kind of weird. It does act kind of like balloons.
I've just shown you a 15-minute video, Nick. So 8 minutes is fine. Go through this one.
But this, guys, I don't know if the people know in chat that this was actually predicted by a government official, I think a couple of days before, and he said there would be a mass sighting above New York within the next couple of days, and lo and behold, this turned up. Dark journalist talks about this, but this was seen in New York. I mean, mass sightings of it, but eventually it does like spread apart. Here we are.
Yeah. I'm going to say, does it? Yeah, does it spread?
Yeah, it comes apart and it comes back in together again. So balloons can be ruled out.
Oh no, I've seen
Right.
spreading balloons, Nick. Depends how much they spread.
Ali, you know who's going to want to see this video, right? Look at this video. Who's going to want to see this video right now? No. Look at these orbs. What does this look like to you?
Ashton Forbes.
Bingo. Bingo.
Nick, send me we've got Ashton Forbes on tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up, man. You're gonna have to show him this video. He's
Conspiracy
gonna
Mothership with Ashton Forbes. There you go.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
So you see, it does have some sort of buoyancy.
Pre-2014 too. So, dude, he'll go over the moon for that.
Nate, send me this. I'm sure somebody sent Forbes this, but
I've never. I don't follow him like
I've never seen.
I've never seen him talk about these. No,
I've never seen this footage.
I think I've seen this back in the day. Yeah. Where they move kind of together, like I mentioned before he played it, you know. Yeah.
I would like to see Nick West's take on this.
I'm surprised people have forgotten about this. I remember this clearly. Due to the guy talking about it, I thought, but people have stopped talking about it. What would you
say now? You'd say it's 3 balloons all attached by string.
That's a big string, bro. Holy shit.
They come as the air gets thicker, then they start to get closer, and as the air gets thinner, then they spread out.
I am not the guy to ask him for that.
I have no idea. I just made that up.
The thing is, it starts off like that, and then it just spread out like a prostitute's legs. So, yeah, it's hard to tell, man. But it's
we were fine with advertising. We were fine with the adverts. Nice. I've just checked. They've just not. The adverts have just gone. You just got rid of 85 pence.
Man,
you owe me a pack of bourbons.
So yeah, that was it. That's the mass sighting back in October 2010.
Do they disappear?
That's the other thing. There's no footage.
Yeah, that's the
I can't remember seeing.
That's the
every UFO video. Come on.
That's the.
This is why. This is.
I'm telling you
why
now.
I started. Sorry, this is why I started doing time lapse videos with my GoPro. I've also got the camera running 24/7, another one out there, and I started doing actual look into the sky and looking for actual. You can look for UFO sightings, so I can actually find out where it actually goes, because 9 times out of 10 you see the footage and you don't know how it appears and where it goes. It's there 2 minutes of footage and it's gone.
James, it's VFX on. I mean,
it's multiple footage of it though.
Yeah, that made it to CBS News, but I suppose there's nothing new there. That's the thing, though. It's probably you are going to see UFO sightings that are AI, that are visual effects. Make it to the news.
Well, did you see that new one? That new news that came out about Sora? Is that what you're going to say, Nick? Where they're making the videos now?
Yeah. Oh my God. I saw that. I was like, I showed that to my dad, and he was going, "Oh, that's real." I was like, "No, that's fake. This is how far things are going now when it comes to AI."
Is it in China or is it Japan where they're walking down the street?
That's it. Yeah.
That's been retweeted on Alien. That is.
Yeah, they got those. So we're already there. I mean, look at that footage that we just looked at. You think AI couldn't do that, but they could do those? It's already going to be polluted. It's going to be bad very soon. By the end of the year, you're going to see incredible fakes.
How do you know it isn't already bad? Do you know how do we know that it's not been bad for 10 years?
Because I'm not trying to be a doom and gloomer, Ali. I'm trying to have some kind of positivity. You know, it's so easy to be negative in this topic, man. It's so easy.
No, but you know, with AI, how do we know that it's not already in play?
We don't. We don't, Ali. Unfortunately,
I think that people that are going, "Oh, can you imagine what AI might be like in 5 years' time?" Let's go back 15 years.
Ali, you're AI, bro. You didn't know that?
No, I'm the only real person on the planet. I'm God. So
I had a weird experience with this the other day. We were kind of talking about fake people, I guess, there for a second. So you ever had somebody kind of either park next to you or walk by you for some reason, and they don't seem like they would ever talk to you. There's no reason for them to talk to you, but then they say something that kind of fits your day to day.
Yeah.
Maybe something you've been thinking about. I had that happen the other day in the parking lot. And as the guy walked away, I kind of thought to myself, I should go up and say, hey, no offense, but like, are you real? Are you real?
Well,
Because it just doesn't make any sense. And there's a few times in my life where I've had that happen. And the other day I had one.
Conversation
and I was like,
that for some fucking weird reason, you happen to overhear that is so much a part of your life, it's unreal at the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know these people. I just walked in that conversation. Why is that a thing?
I don't know. It's weird.
Mm.
That's the stuff that makes me go, is it a simulation? I mean, why is this here? Is it pushing me in a direction? It always seems to be like pushing you in a direction too, right? It moves your mind forward. It's never information that seems to keep you rooted in one spot.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
What was the scenario, Ice Cream? What was, like, picture it for me, because I'm trying to get, like, what did he like read your mind to a certain degree? I mean, what sort of aspects are you talking about?
Were you looking at my wife's ass?
Yeah.
I guess I've questioned certain things like everybody does in their life. Directions you're going, choices you're making. And the guy just made a really interesting reference to, I won't say what he said, but it was in reference to that in like an encouraging way. And it was very random. I had my AirPods in. Okay. This is how random this was. He pulls up next to me and I'm loading my car full of groceries and I can't hear him. I'm blaring music and I see him get out and he looks like a younger guy around my age, maybe a couple years younger than me. And he doesn't say anything initially, but for some reason I got my music going. I turn and I look where his direction and I see he's looking back at me like this, like he's waiting for my response. And so I had to pull my earbud out and I said, hey, what's up? And he goes, because I'm a social guy. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. Any age. I grew up that way talking to people. And he goes, bringing home the bacon, huh? I was like, yeah, trying to. And he goes, yeah, you're doing that. And I put my earbud back in and that was it. And I thought it was just really weird. Like, what is that? What do you mean? Because I'm putting a few groceries in my car. How is that bringing home the bacon? That's really weird.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that phrase,
it's just strange, man.
Had you bought any bacon?
No. No.
I know it's the saying. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just generic. Maybe it's just somebody talking. It probably is, but
weird thing for a young guy,
man. Huh?
Say he was younger than you?
Maybe a couple years younger than me.
That's something that an old guy would say.
I agree with you. That's what I thought initially too, Ali. I said, this is kind of a younger guy to randomly talk. These younger kids don't randomly talk to people.
Old blokes would say when I'm not like, so in the UK, probably like, oh, she's got you in the shopping or whatever, but she's, it's a weird, I get it. It's an odd thing for a young guy to say.
Well, it was odd, Ali, that he waited to try to get my response. That was what was weird to me too. Because I mean, it's not, I didn't feel like a psychic connection to turn and really look at him. I mean, even if you're not hearing stuff, you look around every once in a while, check your surroundings when you're in a parking lot. And he was just waiting with that look. Like it, Ali, the look he gave me, it felt like he's in his mind was like, I could wait here for 2 years. I'm not going to move until he notices me. And it was that kind of a look.
Until I've got my script out.
Yes, until he could get that reaction, get what he wanted. He was never gonna leave that spot, dude. It was like that. So weird. I don't know.
Do you ever feel like you're a part of the Truman Show though? Like you just wonder?
I mean,
no, because that scares me. Fuck that. I'd rather live in the peaceful, amazing globe we live in. Yes, I said globe. So that's my personal opinion. I mean, to say we live in like a Truman Show simulation, that just gives me bloody anxiety just thinking about it. But you're right. When you kind of think about it, there are some great points to put across. like the experience you had. You know, you got questions these things. I mean, personally, I haven't really had anything quite like that personally, so I can't sort of talk about it really when it comes to experience. But yeah, it's very interesting what you went through, man. That's almost like he wanted a response from you, and he's kind of like reading your. We say reading your thoughts or minds.
I don't even know if it's that. It's just, and it's probably nothing, right? It probably 99.99%. It's just a random encounter, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it just, you have those and you just wonder, that's so weird. It's just not an encounter that's there. It feels like it's put there. I don't know. Like an NPC.
Well, Moody would know all about NPCs as he worked on Fable.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah. It's just like one of those moments that it just feels so artificial, man. I don't know. Maybe the world just can be that way. I don't know. Ollie, you were saying about hearing somebody next to you talk. I mean, did you have something similar to
that? There's been so many, literally with me at least. There's so many times when I'm like I'm out shopping or something happens, and this is going to sound really like I just don't give a shit about the rest of the world, but somebody will be speaking and I'm thinking, your conversation's so boring and so stupid that you're having right now. It cannot be real. Like sometimes watching another couple at a meal and listening in to the conversation sometimes doesn't feel like a real couple to me. It doesn't feel like a real. It just. Do you ever? You know what I mean? You ever get that feeling? You see people talking on a train or something like that, and you see how people just react to things, and it is. Now playing games like Cyberpunk, the Grand Theft GTA 5, probably more the new Cyberpunk and things like that. When you're looking at people reacting and doing things in the background, I can imagine that. I'm not saying it's AI that we're living in, that we're living in a simulation, but I don't think I could rule it out either.
Well, when you think about, you hear Bigelow talk about, and you can think what you want about Bigelow, but he says they're here, they're all around us. If you were another civilization, would that be the way that you would really monitor things? Is you would make AI people, you would do, and make them integrate them into your real world. You would have them walk around, look like everybody else. That'd be the best way to know the inside of everything, right?
Maybe like Skinwalker Ranch is like as real as it gets, and that is just a part of the program that is so fucked up it just glitches the fuck out and everything gets in.
This simulation stuff, I haven't really researched into it. So is someone controlling the simulation?
So if you imagine, Nick, let's just say that we are all AI. And we are that intelligent that we think we're real. And then there's somebody else up there that's made this. Yeah. However, somebody else has made them. And they are thinking the same right now, thinking, because it's going to get to the point where we create computer games, let's say, or entertainment. I think at some point computer games will be enjoyed by everybody in the family because it'll be a holodeck situation.
So Ready Player One sort of style.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Sure,
yeah.
Yeah.
When I watched Star Wars as a kid, I've got hiccups. I was like,
it's all that beer, mate.
It's never going to get this. I've had 2 cans. 3.
4.
7. I thought it's never going to get that good, but now I'm like, it's going to get better. It will get better, probably before I'm dead.
Yeah, I understand. I understand your point of view. I mean, just
So,
it's just
so
gonna.
if you
Yeah.
if you imagine that you are, just think about this for a second. I'm not saying that I believe this, but I'm not saying I don't either, because one of the smartest men on the planet, and I do believe he genuinely he's a smart guy. Elon Musk has said this himself, that he's not going to rule out that we could all just be AI. You create something. Imagine if we create something that good in the future that it has total empathy. It knows what it is. And okay, let's just say it doesn't know what it is, but then it finds out what it is. That thing would be terrified of being switched off. But who's to say at some point when we make this and we have then we'll get the realization that holy fuck, we are God. We essentially have created our own Earth, our own civilizations that are having little bickerers with each other. They're having their own social media battles. They're doing everything we are doing, and we have created that. We can step into that situation if we want to with the VR goggles, but hang about.
We'll take mushrooms.
No. They've got to a stage where they've got VR goggles and they're going into their own simulation that they've made.
Yeah.
So then it's like, holy fuck. What?
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying a month or so ago, Ali. You know, that spirituality, it might just be all technology. We just don't understand that yet, man. And maybe
I hope it's not.
Maybe the Bible, it's called a creation story. Maybe that's the Easter egg that's slid in here to humanity. Maybe to say, hey, this is
maybe that's what
created.
you're supposed to think.
I don't know, dude. The universe, like we said before, it's so old, man. It's so old. How do you know? It's not trillions of years. How do they not know that?
How do you know it's old?
Because
if it's a simulation,
trust me, bro.
if it is a simulation, yeah,
yeah, sure.
Then the dinosaurs are just made up. If it's a simulation, because the dinosaurs were maybe the dinosaurs were part of the simulation. I don't know.
When I take a fat dose of mushrooms, and it's just happened many, many times, everything gets pixelated. Everything morphs. It's very, very strange.
I can relate.
You almost no. Honestly,
Ali makes me laugh, man, with that.
No. I think I've got a video of me tripping on it at some point. But yeah, literally. I mean, at one point, I can see through my girlfriend, like literally see through her. It was so odd. So describing it as things like glitching and like being a simulation, I kind of get that, but I'm just not too stoned enough to understand what you're talking about. I'm sorry. So who so if we are AI, who created us? This is it. Are you saying God, another AI? So what's this other AI then?
No,
they got created by another AI.
For me, it would be a civilization that has gotten technology to the point where they were able to use AI to create other worlds. So it doesn't have to, for me, it doesn't have to start with AI. It could still start with the living beings, but that's why I say the technology, it would take so long to create that, possibly. If they've been here for 1 billion years, that's the advancement.
So all this is fake. Technology become a actual living organism, though.
I know where you're going with it, Ali. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's even more of a mind-bending question.
Let's go. Let's bring it back into UFOs a little bit. I know everybody wants to say that it's some Eid balloons, but let's take the jellyfish, for example. Yeah. I still think that thing's quite fascinating.
It is, yeah.
What if that's just some sort of advanced thing? That is, because I looking at alien greys now, and some of the stories that have come out, we had Wreaking Havoc John that used to come on the show. He's told his story for the first time here. It's a great interview. I would say that because I did it. But he speaks about these creatures that were at his window that were totally featureless. Totally featureless. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I said, not many of my friends really give any sort of credence to this subject at all. Well, when they watched that interview, one of my friends said to me, that guy, I believe 100% saw something. That's got me intrigued. But what he saw was two creatures at his bedroom window that had facial features that he couldn't describe, that had no movement whatsoever, almost looked like masks, which is exactly what. And I said to John at the time, I said, and I almost tried to catch him out, and I mentioned communion. I think I mentioned it after the show, and he didn't understand what I was talking about. I said, have you read the book Communion? And I've never read the book, but I said, I've seen the film. So just watch if you're not going to read the book, look at the film, because the film shows these creatures as it's almost like a mask. And then if you look at Fire in the Sky, which Travis says was nothing like what happened, but if you look at the aliens in that, they were the suit that they was wearing was the alien grey, but the creatures weren't. But I find it fascinating that somebody who I've spoke to, there's a living creature that I know of, speaks about these creatures as being like featureless, no wrinkles, nothing, no kind of movement to anything, almost like a mask. I even said, do you think it's two of your buddies that were fucking about when he was 15 in his room? And he said, well, that doesn't describe what happened
later.
Yeah. And it just makes me think with this whole AI thing that maybe that is something that it's been made by computers, essentially. It's featureless. But then I think about AI now and how much it's advancing. I think in 10 years time, maybe 20 years time, at least 20 years time, it would well, no, actually, no, 10 years, if not in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say
you can get visuals of something that is perfect. I mean, have you seen the interview with Putin? And it looks real. It looks just like him.
Yeah.
But how do you 3D print that? How do you actually make that thing move? You get all the skeletal structure.
I reckon holograms.
At some point, that the AI, well, you just got to get that thing to study the bone structure, then 3D print it. Then you get the stuff to create the movement, and then you've got a perfect creature. And
that sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
So what does the AI want with us then? Why are they at his window? What do they care?
I don't know if it wants anything. I think it probably realizes. I mean,
yeah.
If the AI is, does the AI realize that it's AI? Does it realize that it's not real?
Do a rabbit hole upon rabbit hole here. We're going through wormholes, man. Oh my god! I don't know.
The AI would be thinking, are they not real, or are the gods real? No, the gods are not real.
I'm going to be honestly, I think an AI at that point, Ollie, at that stage, what you're talking about, I think it'll be so advanced. It would get so scary, like so advanced, it would outsmart humans by that point. I reckon.
think it already has.
If AI
Could
can
do that in
think,
10 years, Nick.
yeah, I mean, if you
takes
think
that long, yeah.
if you think if AI at the moment can think for itself, it's just give it time. It's going to outsmart humans, and eventually it's going to figure out things to take over the planet. It's not looking good, man. You know, is there this off button we can switch off? But if everything's a simulation, where's this off button? This is it. It's just a continuation.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was some story recently they were talking about how they had an AI, they were having a conversation with it or something, and they were saying, you know, if you had to put this kind of information out there and it made the people uncomfortable, then how would you do that? But you still had to put the information out. It essentially said that it would hide it in other messaging. So it's already considering, lying and moving moving information around. It's crazy to already think that way, that it's considering that. I don't know. It's crazy, man. AI is the scariest thing possible right now, for sure.
I agree.
Have you seen Ollie? Have you seen a TV program called Black Mirror at all?
Yeah.
A little bit
on Netflix.
Yeah, there's loads of it on Netflix. Yeah, but have you seen the one where AI, obviously they all take all the information that we know about us, about advertising and stuff like that, our likeness, and it's one episode where these married couple, and the husband died, but you can actually get AI and implants the memories of the husband into this robot, and the robot will actually turn into just like the husband, but is using the likeness of the AI.
My wife definitely wouldn't do that.
Honestly, it was such a fascinating episode. It's such a deep dive, but it doesn't end good at the end of it, you know. But I think at some point we will get to that stage. It's fucking looking at Black Mirror now. It's like we're living in it. It's quite scary, you know. how fast things is getting. It's crazy. Advancement is.
I do think if evolution is exactly what they say it is, don't start doing
apes and monkeys.
That thing saying alien. Ollie doesn't believe in evolution. Yeah, I'm not saying that at all.
You flat earther. You're all the same.
What I'm saying is,
flat earther.
Yeah, if it's exactly what they say it is, then at some point there will be no us. There will be just AI. That's what it will be. That will be replaced.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Because I don't see how we're going to get through. We're struggling right now. I don't see. I just don't see how we're going to get through it. If I'm honest,
something has to give, dude. I agree with you. There's just too much at once. The economies are horrible. Everyone's warring. Every technology is never been as scary as it's ever been. AI. We're trying to get around the galaxy, create ways to explore, and some people want to leave, and some people want to leave the planet. I don't know, Ali. It's the weirdest time we've ever seen. I can't think of one other time that's this wild.
Gina, so you've heard the thing about UFOs going back in time, about whatever they are, they're from the future. Let's just say they are. It is us from the future, and it is some sort of artificial intelligence that it's curious about where it came from, or maybe it wants to correct something. I don't know. Why would it go back in time to correct that? Because surely that stops what that thing is, the alien gray. If it's the alien gray that we've created, what's it going back in time for? What's it going to nuclear plants for, to try and stop nuclear missiles? Surely all that's been done. So that's where I get really confused with the people saying, "Well, it's us from the future." You remember the CGI video that was made of the alien talking and saying it was us from the future?
Yeah,
it was very well narrated. It was a good video.
Is that the Vrillion?
Have you seen it, Nick?
Is it from the 70s? Is that what you're talking about?
No. I'm gonna have to.
No, it's the one where he goes, oh.
What's it
yeah."
called?
Oh,
What's it
right.
called?
Remember that
let's,
one.
let's play that motherfucker.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Oh God, I don't know. Alien predicts future. Alien.
Hang on,
Probably
that's- that
something
was-
like that. Probably maybe you'll get it.
Probably, if I put Alien interview, I'm going to get Jon Stewart.
I don't know if anybody could remember this, but back in the 70s there was a broadcast of Doctor Who on the BBC, and then suddenly it got interrupted by this voice called Rillion or something like that, talking about there would be...
yeah. On the old days, yeah.
Yeah. I can try and find that.
It came on the TV screen, right? And it didn't show the script on the TV screen at the same time. You could read it. I think you could. Yeah.
This was back in the 70s, but
Yep.
that was but apparently, it was talking about predictions of what will happen, about nuclear explosions and stuff like that.
Yep.
I don't know if they can actually find the original footage of it. I could probably do an episode on that, but it's immensely fascinating.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Max Headroom.
Same idea,
isn't it? Yeah,
Yep, where they took over the station. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, did they ever find out what happened to that guy? Is it still a mystery?
I from best that I know, they never figured it out. Yeah,
no, yeah, it's still creepy to this day. I'm like, oh, well, that twirling background and that bloody head mask is terrible, frightening. But yeah, that
cool
really
stuff
on
back then, though, man. It's
yeah,
so
no,
cool to
it's
have that
very
stuff going on.
creative.
You know,
Very
you had
creative.
everybody looking in one area, you know, so you could pull that off, and you know, everybody had to go to the same spot for their entertainment. You can't really do that as much anymore.
Yeah,
they try,
absolutely.
people try, but you know.
By the way, people, I know this is CGI before anybody goes, come on,
No,
that's
this is
CGI.
real. This is real, 100% real.
I find the concept interesting.
Dude, it says MJ12. It's got to be real.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, this is
real.
State line of order, John? Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth or the word or another week. It is truth. Or far off. Far off future. The truth is time. The truth is space. Elephants machine technologies. So I take it aliens took over our future, right? So you're human.
Sorry, I feel like I need to disclose every few minutes that I don't think this is real. I know this isn't real, people, but I like the concept.
Okay, so you evolved from us. So what are you doing here now? How?
Do you remember when this came out? How good it looked?
Yeah, it does look good. But
yeah,
the
it's
mouth,
still not horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, the mouth's a bit funny.
Okay, so how about we concentrate on your time? Try me.
He's kind of a dick, huh?
What a dick.
Wait, so you know the meaning of life? What's the difference? So you know how the universe is created? So you've seen God? Okay, illuminate us. What happens when we die? Okay, so let me get this straight. There's no death, and we all experience each other's lives, right? Okay, so how was the universe created, and why is it so perfectly made for us? Moving on. Okay, so why do we destroy ourselves with nuclear war?
Nick, do you want to say something?
Yeah, the interviewer sounds like Russ Coulthart. So what you're saying is it's like, okay, let's move on. Like, it's just, but no, continue. It's very, no, honestly, this is really good footage.
Have you ever seen this, Nick?
Yeah, I have. When did they came out? Just remind me.
I think this was like 2000 and
Like 15.
yeah.
Yeah, right
like
at
15.
time.
15, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
I think I'd not long had Alien Addict to my. I remember my mate going, "Have you seen this? It's real." I'm like, "That's CGI, mate." And he's like, it's real." I'm like, "No, that's CGI, mate." But then I watched it, and I thought, there's something I like about this, because whoever's thought this up, the whole concept of it, and how they've narrated it, I just think it's outstanding. I think it's really well thought out, and the fact that I don't think has anybody ever come forward to say I made this.
No, of course not.
It's another one of those. It's another. It's
Of
another
course
one of
not,
those.
Ollie. It's one of those myths, mate.
We all know this is CGI.
Yeah,
but I want to know who made this and who thought up this idea.
It's the same thing.
I know that idea was already out there.
yeah. I was gonna say,
yeah,
it's been out there, man. Yeah,
but I just think the way this CGI creature goes into it is, I think it's intriguing.
for sure. Yeah.
Can you be more specific, please?
A college student for sure wrote this. 100%. Like every buzzword you learn in college early on, like they use it. You know what I mean? It's very funny.
Okay, one last thing. What about morality? What do you base your morality on? I see. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
If that thing looks like anything, it doesn't look compassionate to me, but we'll see.
I'll tell you something though. Skinny, he doesn't look as good as you. He does not look as, and you are older, my friend. So
Well, he blinked too. That guy blinked as well.
Yeah, but not as good as Skinny Bob.
It's true. That's true.
Skinny Bob is better.
Skinny's a little degraded though. It's you know.
I think Skinny looks better than that. I think Skinny looks a lot better than that.
I think it does in a different way though. I think the both of those creations are meant for different purposes though, Ollie. Right?
Mm-hmm.
One is meant to be kind of fast footage. You see it, looks real enough.
We should do a whole show on fucking fake aliens and real aliens.
You run your channel. You pick it. I'll come talk about it, man. You know.
Have you ever seen me speak about the real alien in Skinny Bob?
No.
So
you have proof there's a real alien? No kidding.
No, I don't. There's, when are we? An hour and 45. An hour and 45. Yeah. Speak about what we've just seen while I bring this up, because I want to show you something.
Sure.
Well, yeah, well, I was going to say, these alien footage that we come across, right? It always have a black background, except for Skinny Bob, I have to admit. But I would say, honestly, I I would object to Ollie's agreement on Skinny Bob being better than the footage we just saw, because I think the one we just saw was so much more clearer. You tend to find like a black background, so we could kind of minimize the amount of detail on the texture on the alien, so you can add the shadows and all that. But it's still, for 2015, is very well done. If they can fake something, if they
Remember,
can fake
Nick,
something,
we've got Skinny in the chat. And
yeah, I know,
he's-
no disrespect
he's
for
also a
Skinny.
channel member.
Skinny is right here, buddy. But if they can fake stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they can fake other stuff. You know, MH and all that sort of stuff. You know, so.
I mean, is it just me though, Nick? I mean, do you really feel that they're trying to portray that that's actual footage though? Like, I don't think that that's what they're trying to portray. I think they're trying to give a visual representation to audio that was supposedly recovered. I think that's the narrative that I get from it. Not that that's supposed to be the actual video of him talking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. So it's
Because the voice doesn't match, right? Like the audio doesn't match the video at all, right? The audio is obviously messy and it's distorted. And if you had a camera that looked like that and set up that way, you'd have a hell of a lot better audio than that. I mean, most likely,
definitely.
you know, if you were set in an interrogation room like that. So, I mean, they could be trying to like pass that off as real footage, but to me, it just felt like a prop for the audio, you know?
Yeah. I think it's just done for entertainment purposes. And
Yeah.
they have to admit, guys, you know, they are creative people who don't want to put their face out there, but put footage forward, and you can't deny that, unfortunately. Not saying Skinny Bob, Skinny, not having a go, you buddy. It's all good. No, don't worry. But unfortunately, you will get people like that. But yeah, for 2015, that sort of time period, very, very good. Even though I can remember the flying saucer from 2010. Could you remember the old footage with the palm trees and you had the big flying saucer flying overhead? It was, for that time was still good. So,
I mean, there's so many talented people out there, man, and they don't work for studios because you can only have so many working at studios. And, you know, these guys are creating reels and project examples and as much as they possibly can all the time to try to get those jobs.
Yeah.
So it's the way that it goes. I mean, you can have somebody that's just as good, you know, as some of the people at the studios. They don't have a job, man. Other countries, a lot of these kids in other countries, if you remember the early days of YouTube, Ollie, a lot of these videos, man, were made from kids in other countries, and they're incredible at the work. You'd be amazed to know that. I mean, to be able to look and see what comes out of the Philippines and Thailand. So these kids are insane with a lot of their visual work. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great people out there that do stuff for sure.
Because I don't know if you're a fan of like the Mandalorian, the Star Wars spin-off show.
The first season was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the first season was great.
Yeah, first season was good.
When you first
second,
saw,
not so much.
Yeah,
it's a hit and miss, I know. But could the last scene of Luke Skywalker when he turns up, and everyone's complaining that his face looks so crap, and it did. You know, this is a Lucasfilm animation, but some guy in his basement managed to actually take that footage and actually de-age it. Actually looks so much better. Then Lucasfilm actually employed the guy, because obviously Luke Skywalker was in quite a permanent role in one of the episodes, isn't it? And I have to admit, it looks pretty good. But that was a guy in the basement. Now, he didn't create the footage; he just made it look better, you know. So, but yeah, it's wonderful what people can do these days, especially with computers. I mean, everyone knows now how to create computers, how to create these programs, so they can easily advance what these, you know, what Marvels can do. You know, I have to admit, Marvel films now, and Marvel films, I mean CGI in general, it looks shit now compared to what it was 10 years ago.
I think a lot of it's resolution though. The TV resolution is so high, it's hard to kind of keep up. I think that way. I mean, resolutions always get better like that, you know. It's just tough.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why, like, when you look at animation from the 90s on a 4K TV, it looks even more obviously bad, right? Because the resolution is so much better. So you're getting so much more, so much of a better look at the pixels. It's just, it looks like crap, you know?
Yeah.
But I guarantee if you took an old tube TV and threw a VHS in there, it would look much better. Probably still bad, definitely. But it would look better than it did on 4K.
Talking about good resolution, revolution, I should say. I downloaded the new Tomb Raider game. They remastered the 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, yeah, I've got it.
Oh, have you played those?
Yeah, beautiful. Right, top tip: don't go on your control settings. If you go on your control settings and pull it to modern controls, because it uses classic controls, but pull it to modern controls. I tell you what, it works like a dream. And Laura, and you can switch between the original pixels and what it is today. And Laura has, you could get them to like triangle boobs, or you
What
could
you
get like
playing it on,
circular
Nick?
boobs. And the boobs move. So what was that, Ollie?
What are you playing it on?
PS5, and it looks gorgeous. Not Laura, but we want to look. Laura's look gorgeous, but no, but literally the game looks amazing on the TV. It really does.
Right, I can't find his video, but so I'm gonna have to like show myself again, which I don't like doing. But I'll have to go on
How much more vain can you get
To
on
cut to
it?
the chase, I will tell you that
This is it.
I'm a professional visual effects artist. This is, I make fake stuff like this all day. I really couldn't tell that some of it was fake and some of it was real until I looked at it very closely. And having looked at it very closely, I can say pretty confidently that at least some of these videos are fake.
Good evening,
Son.
folks, and welcome to Alien Addict. Yes, we are on that subject again. It's right. Let me.
Look at you with the glasses, huh?
Yeah, man.
You movie star, you.
What is that? No, I think I had hangover. Right. Okay. Here it is. So I can't find his videos. I can't find the video anyway. So this is what when it comes to visual effects. The closest I get to visual effects is using dabbling with a bit of green screen. That's about it. But this part of the video, Abomination says, doesn't go with the rest of it. This piece looks genuine. What you're seeing now could, and I'm saying could, possibly be an alien being. First phase. Now, you've never heard those words come out of my mouth before, that this could actually be a genuine extraterrestrial. But it could. And hear me out here before you unsubscribe, because I know there's a lot of people on this channel that are very skeptical, me including. But there's a reason why we are interested in these sort of UFO channels and alien channels and what have you. And we like watching the documentaries, and we're interested in the subject because we believe in it. But if somebody gives us something that could possibly be real, we're very quick to say, no, that's not real. There's no way that's real. It's almost so the guy at the beginning that I showed in that way,
yeah,
that video I've just gone to his channel, it's gone. So whether he's regretted putting that out, because he did a CGI breakdown of the gimbal footage, which was brilliant.
Oh,
and
cool.
then he did he analyzed Skinny Bob, and he said every single clip that you could see in there, and he actually showed the stock footage that they'd used to put over Skinny Bob, and he matched it up. I wouldn't say 100%. It was decently done. But then it came to, and I think I've got this saved in the, yeah, I have. Then it came to this, and he's like, it doesn't match. He says the alien doesn't match for a start. It's not the same alien.
Mm.
And that is literally this one clip. That's how long it is. It's just there for that's all that's in that, and then he said that section there, and also the bit where it cuts to whatever that is, that doesn't match up with any of the Skinny Bob footage. None of it. So this is a CGI expert that looked at the Skinny Bob and then said that doesn't match up. I find that I've always said I found the Skinny Bob videos intriguing. The fact that nobody has owned up, nobody's come forward. They did four videos. Ivan 0135 did 4 videos, never came out, or never did anything. Could have died. Who knows? But it's got. If that was released now, we would say AI. Some of the UFO stuff,
it's pretty easy, yeah. Yeah.
But some of the UFOs, if you remember the UFOs when the plane or the helicopter, they look pretty good. That it's so well produced. And I don't know how anybody can take that away from the skinny bob footage to say that hasn't been professionally done on a professional level. Now, then you've got a guy that does it for a living, and he's obviously taking it down for some, maybe because he was doing stuff. I think he admitted on his channel that he was doing some of the stuff that he was doing. It was project work for what he was studying and to get a job. And he basically said this. He doesn't understand. It makes no sense. This being in there, that he couldn't match it to any stock footage, and and if you watch it, and I challenge anybody to do this, go and watch all of the skinny bob footage, and when you get to that clip, it looks different. It looks completely different. So who knows? That could be. I always think maybe in some of these fakes, there could be that that little nugget.
Yeah. I think that there's some video. I don't know if it's been popularized or not. There's got to be some video that's real, dude, of something real.
Would you agree though that there doesn't look like Skinny Bob, and it's in the Skinny Bob video?
That shot right there is what's interesting to me when I look at it the most. That head turn, where you have that angle off to the side. It just looks like if they were doing like an autopsy or something like that to me, that you would not want to get near the thing, so you're kind of getting a Dutch angle on it a little bit. But it seems like, you know what I mean, the way they're filming it, it seems like somebody doesn't really know a whole lot to do with the camera, and
it doesn't look like Skinny Bob. I don't think it looks like that.
No, I don't think it does.
It look like that alien.
Yeah.
Could you guys remember, Ollie? You might remember this. The Anton Deck movie, the Alien Autopsy.
Yes.
Movie. They played the footage at the end, the alleged Roswell crash footage, and it's this grainy black and white footage of it looks like this alien on the ground, and it kind of reminds me of that. I mean, the whole thing's fake, isn't it? Really? I mean, let's just be honest.
we'll find out. We've got. So we have actually been in contact with Race and Tilly in the last month 2 or 3 times, and he's agreed to come on the show.
Oh,
but,
cool.
But he's gone quiet, so I don't know. That would be cool if we get him on.
That'd be crazy to talk to
I
him.
challenged Lee and I said, "Can you get Race and Tilly on?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, he's not going to come on." I said, "Just send him just drop him a few emails."
Message him, yeah, might as well.
And he did, and he said he would, but he's gone quiet. So he might have watched the breakdown we did where Rich and Dave fell out. I don't know.
Pretty legendary episode on Alien Attic.
I think so. Yeah. Put hairs on your chest, that episode. But yeah, I mean, so as much as we want to laugh at some of these really weird old alien videos, nobody's come forward.
We've seen that many times, mate. Many times.
Going back to the Super Bowl, maybe this is how it's supposed to play out. These people put things in place. Some of these, you think, oh, why would they do this? Where's the budget for it? Well, somebody's got the budget for it.
So they're only saying they don't know where the budget is because they really don't know where all the money went. Half the money went.
I think the guy said that Skinny Bob would have cost about $80K back then to do.
It's so subjective, though, dude. Who knows?
Yeah,
it depends. It could have cost nothing. You could have had a really good CGI guy that just had nothing to do for a week and looked into UFO stuff and said, what if I make a stupid video? It really could be that simple, though, too. That's the problem. Yeah. I
don't know what happened to me then. Did I
disappear? No, you're
No,
good.
you're right. You're fine.
Oh, I disappeared for a second.
Glitching out, mate. It's a simulation.
Yeah.
I thought I seen this little gray things walking behind you in the room. It was
Yeah.
weird, but I just didn't, just let it go.
You're fine, Ollie. You're right.
Do you think so? So we said this last year. And I think we did I think you guys were on the show and we spoke about it. Well, we spoke about Roswell because we got those files that were supposed to be coming out this year. Do you think we're going to get anything juicy off that?
Dude, I hope so, because last year we were spoiled, and this year we're seeing just how spoiled we really were last year, because it's not like it was last year right now. That's for sure.
The beginning of the year started amazing.
Like, there's potential. I mean, if we get those emails, that's
we
huge,
had
man.
we had Miami. What was
Yeah.
the other one? We had at the beginning of the show I said Miami, and then I blanked on the other one. What was the other one? It was two. There was two all in like the space of 2 weeks or something. Miami and
the jellyfish, right? We got the jellyfish.
No, jellyfish came after.
Oh, okay.
There was another two before. There's Miami and help me out, people in the chat. Miami and what?
I just remember it being Miami and then rolling into the jellyfish. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look through back through the channel.
Yeah, there was something else, wasn't there?
It
There
could
was
have been
something else. There was definitely something else.
But
Yeah,
talking about,
go ahead, Nick.
talking about the Roswell files that's supposed to be released sometime this year. I don't know if we've actually got an official date, but what's going to happen? It's just going to be an empty bowl of nothing. So we're expecting the trifle.
Oh no, you're right. Miami and jellyfish. Sorry, Nick.
Was it the jellyfish? Was it?
It was
okay.
Miami and jellyfish.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, these documents from Roswell that's supposed to be coming out is, like I said, it's going to be a whole nothing burger. Again, it's probably going to be not what people are expecting. They want to see aliens and crash debris from extraterrestrial craft, and it's not going to be that, unfortunately.
I mean, probably not. But the UAP Disclosure Act stuff that did pass, I mean, they are going to start. Well, they're supposed to start releasing some documents here very soon. That's what's kicking on. So,
yeah,
they just talked about that. Yeah.
If you ever seen declassified documents, especially documents that I've come across,
yeah,
they always blank out the names. They always come out blanked. So I'm not getting my hopes up about any sort of documents coming out. I mean, we're going back to what Nick Pope has been saying for like donkey's years. I think it was 2007 when Nick Pope was going, oh yeah, this document's been coming out. And then I read the documents. I'm like, oh, this is a whole bunch of nothing. And then the year after he goes, oh yeah, there's more documents coming out. And then I read it and there's a whole bunch of nothing burger. And it's going to be the same for this Roswell files or any sort of documents coming out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, if there was, there's potential, I guess, if they really wanted to do that. I agree. We're not going to, but we're not going to get it.
Yeah. But if we were going to get disclosure, we would have a disclosure by now. And I don't think it's going to come from declassified documents. It's going to come from actual science and scientists. I don't think just words on the paper. We need actual evidence now. So it's just stories and claims.
Could you imagine the whiplash though for the UFO community if those emails came out and Kirkpatrick was proven to be lying? Every skeptic.
Oh my God,
can you imagine? Every skeptic would have to shift positions. You could not sit on that hill anymore.
Absolutely.
You have nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
What would you say?
If he's lying, that is that's a totally different ball game.
Yeah. I mean, I consider myself middle ground.
No, but if he's lying, some people need to like.
I have seen the logs. I have seen the videos. We have attempted shoot downs of UAPs on a regular basis. We're talking as recently as last Friday.
And it was last Friday. If it turns out that Grush did send Kirkpatrick those emails and it gets proven, then people need to go and stroke Jeremy Corbell's beard and say sorry.
Yeah, but they would have released it by now. Not Jeremy, Ollie. They would have released it by now.
Jeremy, it's fine.
I know, that's right. No, I don't want to. Honestly, it's a terrible name. But no, honestly, they would have released it by now if they want to shut the actual conversation down, saying, "Look, guys, we have gone in contact with Kirkpatrick. Here are the emails," and they haven't. Why the delay, guys? Are you buying time? Are you
He
waiting for your next
said,
podcast?
he said, though, he did say that they are going to release. I'm pretty sure the UFO community will hold him to that.
Ali, I agree. I agree with you.
But does it matter?
It was very weird that he said that because he will be held to it. It was a really big claim, dude. If you don't have it, that's really rough to make a claim like that. You know, I mean, he's made hints at claims for things before, but that's by far the biggest check he's trying to cash I think I've heard.
He called him a piece of dog shit.
Yeah, he's pissed
and said, "You are going to be. You will see." So he like blatantly said, very confident that everybody who's poo-pooed this is going to be a dickhead. That's the impression that I got.
Or he's going to be a dickhead. One of the two.
Which would you rather? What would you prefer?
I'd prefer that he had the emails and dropped them for sure.
Me too.
Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, I preferred getting some facts somewhere, you know?
So honesty.
I mean, that's we're always having to ask, like, is the Grush telling the truth? Is Kirkpatrick telling the truth? Who's really telling the truth? We always have to speculate. I don't want to fucking speculate anymore, man. Let's not do that. Let's prove the cover up, man. That proves the cover up to me. If Kirkpatrick, look, Arrow's a giant arm of the DoD in my opinion, and it's a big part. If we can prove that there's bullshit going on, dude, you can't argue the cover up at that point anymore. It's 100% right there. What's the argument? Well, what could you argue against it? Give me something.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I don't know.
100%. Yeah, you're totally right.
Well, boys, we've gone over the 2-hour mark. Nick.
Yes.
Well, you've kind of already said halfway through the show what you're going to be doing next week, but
yeah. Well, first of all,
remind people.
Ollie, could you just take the banner out? Yeah, because I just want to show something.
Absolutely.
Nice banner.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. That's pretty creative. This here, Investigate with Nick 89, is my Rumble channel. I can't change the name, but you can find about over 250 videos on there, which is like time lapse, which is just me analyzing the sky. I know it's boring stuff, but it's for me to look into geoengineering as they announced the 5-year program. Well, they've been doing it for a long time anyway. So every day we've got a time lapse video, so loads of content on there. So next Sunday, the 26th, I think, or 25th, I will be doing potentially a 12-hour stream. So the chap I showed you earlier that was talking about the fake alien invasion,
which looks fucking amazing, by the way.
Yeah, honestly, his name's Ian R. Crane. He is the guy that got me into like conspiracies back in the day, and he unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. Absolutely gutted by it. But to honor his
really hard to come by.
No, they're easy to find to a certain degree, but the algorithm is really hitting hard at the moment. You just have a YouTube channel.
You didn't see what the marketing guy was trying to do? Come on.
What's that?
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go. I shouldn't have jumped in.
So,
it's exclusive on your channel, man. Yeah.
Oh, exclusive. Yeah. So next Sunday, I'll probably start in the morning, but I'll keep everyone posted.
But you're going to put your twist on it. You're going to be speaking like at the beginning of it, and you'll be putting these out in different segments, and I'm looking forward to that because I've never seen this guy, and that's something new for me. So
it'll be cool.
Yeah. So I'll hour at a time. I'll speak a bit, and then but it should be an all-day event. So stay tuned for next Sunday.
Awesome. Make sure you go subscribe to the Cosmic Twilight, people.
Yes,
Nick's fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you.
Terrestrial, what's going on, lad?
Well, I know we mentioned the Elizondo book. That's kind of future. You know, whenever that comes out, we're gonna go over chapter by chapter. We'll do an episode on each. Should be a lot of fun. And then right now, Sundays, as things haven't been the most eventful in ufology right now, I'm going to be doing the news at 1:00 on Sundays, just kind of pulling out clips and things from Twitter that we found are interesting and going over those. And we'll be doing that this Sunday. That's 1:00 Eastern on Terrestrial Material on YouTube. Now that's Nick, I like what you did, how you delineated between these two. This is probably important. I should have been doing this for a while. So Terrestrial Material is the YouTube. This is the Twitter. At Ice Cream Shots is the Twitter. So if you want to follow on Twitter, I post the shows and post interesting stuff there too. Yep.
everybody that's watching this live right now, and if you're watching this afterwards and you like these two, I'm pretty sure one of them is going to reveal disclosure to you. Make sure you go subscribe because, you know, we're all on the same team here, you know, and it's getting spicy. It's getting real spicy. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. Go find yourself some merch. It's below in the description. It helps support the channel. And you can find us on pretty much every single platform, which is YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, X. We are on all the podcasts. We're on the two main podcasts, which is Spotify and Apple Music. So if you want to just download, if you download it, do us a favor, give us a 5-star review. That really helps out. Tomorrow, we have Ashton Forbes joining us for the Conspiracy Mothership. Yes, I nicked that from you, Ashton, but it went really well with the Conspiracy Mothership thumbnail. So there you go. And on Sunday, we have Stephen Diner joining us from the UAP podcast, which is absolutely awesome, by the way. You guys need to go and listen to that podcast before you watch this show, because Stephen's been on briefly for about half an hour before. But yeah, we're going to do a full show with him on this Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern. And also Ashton will be tomorrow at 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, it's going to be a good week, people. Good night. God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. Alien Addict, Terrestrial Material, and the Cosmic Twilight. Bye-bye.
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
Ah, pickled onions.